From Scenic the Basement at ICN Studios in Brooklyn, I'm Jana Jefferson, and this is And Friends with Jana Jefferson. Every other week, me and a new guest host each time are going to discuss the latest in pop culture, the industry, life, and more. And today's guest is none other than the Yuppie Noir podcast. Oh my God. So go and say who you are, and oh my God, this is so exciting.
Started off, I'm Dwight from the Yuppie Noir podcast, one of three.
This is Kyler from the Yuppie Noir podcast.
This is Brandan. I go by B Merch as well. I'm third member.
Look at everybody. We all went to college together, guys, and now we all have podcasts. Look what happens when you leave college. You just get a podcast.
Look at that.
So how's life been? How was you guys drove up?
We took the train up today. We did transit and the subway.
How was that? Because I know
Smooth.
it's usually
Smooth
like
sailing.
Very
yikes.
smooth.
Yeah, we wanted that real experience of the commute to the city.
Perfect.
So
I'm glad you got that real experience. No rats or anything? Because that would make it like even more real.
Oh, no.
No rats. Some people sleeping on benches, things like that. Somebody tried to check Brandon. It's cool.
Somebody tried to check
happens.
you too.
Nobody tried to check me.
They tried to ask you how much money you had. The dude was out of jail.
I don't recall.
He was out of jail.
Anyway.
He pulled up next to you.
the typical people asking for money on the subways
Of
and
course.
things like that.
Oh my God.
But what we do is we fantasizing in our head that it went a different way than what actually happens.
Well, Dwight does that.
So
For the most
the guy
part.
just kind of went up and asked for change, but in my head, I made it like a big scene. He kind of asked it in an aggressive way, to make it a joke. So when I tell friends, it's like a big.
It's like a big
story.
thing. You're just like, oh yeah, I had to do this on the train.
Right.
In New York. It was this is what I do.
Right.
So before each episode starts, we do something called the Beyonce Mood of the Day, because Beyonce is very important to me and many others. So you use a lyric, you use a song title, you could use whatever to describe how you're feeling today on this Saturday, because we wanted to make sure that they could be here. So we're doing this on a Saturday instead of a Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like it.
Anybody want to start off?
I can start. The song would be Beyonce featuring J. Cole, Party.
Yes. Why is that?
I am in a party mood right now. I really want to go out. I haven't been going out in a couple weeks now. So it's the party now. There's no particular lyric, but
Just the song
yeah,
as
just
a whole, the essence.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we can't party the way we used to.
Absolutely not.
I went out last night and I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't. My head is still hurting.
Oh, boy.
Especially not back to backs. We used to.
Absolutely
be able to go out
not. Oh my
and
God,
rally
Thursday
the
to
next
Friday
day.
to no.
100%.
You gotta book with me some time in advance. If we're going out Saturday, we're going out Friday. That's gonna be the one time for the week, and then I'll get up with you the next week or something like that. But nothing, can't do. Our bodies just aren't. They don't bounce
They're not
back
what
like
they
they used to.
And it's so funny because we literally just left college, 3 years ago,
Facts.
and we're like, oh no, I just can't. I
Feels
can't
like-
do this
feels
anymore.
like so long ago.
It's after 1 o'clock, I'm like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
It's I need to go back home. I can't be out all day.
10:30.
I don't know.
I'm like, I'm dead.
I don't know if you heard our one episode where we talked about our trip to Miami.
Yes,
but that
I did.
One was,
How was that?
Phenomenal.
It was phenomenal, but again, 8 to 10
Sensational.
hours of sleep wasn't doing it.
True.
For the whole weekend.
For the whole weekend?
I probably got only 8 to 10 hours of sleep for the whole
absolutely not.
weekend.
Absolutely not.
Using
I need
your
8 to 10 hours a night.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it was-
That's why the brunch thing is better now.
yeah, I
because
went to
you
a day
during the
party.
day.
I went to a brunch and a day party a couple weeks ago, and then we got back at 11. I'm like, see, this is good.
Right.
We don't have to
Right.
go back out,
Exactly.
guys. We're good. They're like, are you sure? I'm like,
I
no.
enjoyed myself.
We are totally fine. We
For
don't have to
sure.
do this. How about you, Kyler? What's your Beyonce mood of the day?
My Beyonce mood of the day is "Boss" off of the new The Carters album. Hey.
Yes.
And my lyric is from Beyonce, of course. Ain't nothing to a boss. I bought my mama a whip. My great grandchildren are already rich. That's a lot of brown children on your Forbes list. Frolicking around my compound and my fortress.
Yeah.
And that spoke to me just because it's about, creating generational wealth and passing something on to your kids, which is something that's a big goal of mine, and just sort of, building a strong family unit and then being able to have legacy after you're gone and leave something to them. So that's kind of always my mentality. So she really just encapsulated it in that lyric right there.
That's a good one. That's a really
Thank
good
you.
one.
We came prepared, you know what I'm saying?
I'm
We're
glad.
studying,
I'm really, really happy
We're
because
about
some people
this.
are just like, oh, I need some time. And I'm like, we don't have that kind of time. Right. How about you, Brandon?
So mine is off of School and Life. It's off of 4.
This is for the 20-something. Oh my God.
We were worried that I didn't know if you were gonna know.
Why you always doubting me, sir?
I don't know. I don't know. We underestimated you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyway, off of 4. It's the last one of the song. She says that there's not a real way to live this for real. Just remember, stay relentless. Don't stop running until it's finished. It's up to you. The rest is unwritten. So
you guys have all really good ones. I'm just like,
well, mine wasn't that deep now. Now it's like
now I'm just like, oh, can I change my answer?
that one just spoke to me because I'm always about trying to, have different ways you can try to live your life, and you don't have to be defined by, oh, this is how you're supposed to live. Like, no, this is how Brandon lives life. This is how Kyler lives his life. This is how Dwight lives his life. Whatever the case may be, because that's how you define yourself. Through how you live it.
I like that. Mine is 713 because it's been stuck in my head since yesterday. From the new album, especially the line where she's like, representing for the hustlers all across the world, still dipping in my lows, girl. And I'm like, I feel that. Yeah. I feel that because
on an emotional level.
Oh man, she's just so dope. We don't deserve her. Yeah. We really don't.
It's true.
I underestimated her lyrical content because I was going through some songs and I seen some things. I was like, okay, she's
kind of tough as a rapper, like low key. Like,
exactly.
Well, she was spitting some stuff on this on the Carter's joint.
Is Jay-Z writing for her though, or?
It's possible.
Valid question.
Right? I don't know. I feel like maybe, but the delivery is just so top notch.
Okay. The cadence, she hits the right pockets. She's multifaceted, multi-talented.
For sure.
Don't deserve. So, listeners, remember, I've created a Spotify playlist for the Beyonce Mood of the Day. Search Beyonce Mood of the Day and follow it. And each song mentioned by myself and my guests to start off the show have been and will be added to the playlist after each episode, so you can stay up to date on your Beyonce discography. And we're adding good songs too, so I'm like, yes. I actually listen to the Beyonce Mood of the Day playlist like all the time because I'm just like, oh, I'm feeling it. So I just like listen to, oh my God, such good choices. Everyone has had such good choices. So the first segment of the show is called Talk of the Town. It's just like stuff that's going on. Okay, this is like my favorite story of maybe the entire year so far because I just think it's hysterical. Did you guys hear about the Clermont Twins?
The debit card fraud, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
oh
crazy.
My gosh. Okay, so to sum it up, there's these Instagram models called the Clermont Twins. They look like Tamar Braxton. Like they really do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. So I guess they've been like prostituting, which is not a problem. Like live your life, do what you want with your body. But they've been prostituting, and they had like a John. Well, one of them. I don't know who was who.
Right.
But the one had a John, and he died.
Oh, wow.
Like her sugar daddy died.
Okay.
And she has been like using the dead man's credit card
Yikes.
to buy things. And I think she racked up, $20,000 in purchases and stuff. So she got arrested, obviously. She was released on $100,000 bond. Wow. And if convicted, which she probably will be,
of course.
She faces up to 20 years in prison.
What?
Yes.
20? For credit card fraud?
That's a grip. Like,
for credit card?
A dead man's credit card.
I know, but 20 years? Wow.
Like, wow. And then they had like all the court documents were saying like, oh my gosh, they like scam all the time on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
I think they like they try. Oh my God. Okay. This was wild. There's a website that they go on. Mm-hmm. And they like find men who are like into bestiality. So they like are sleeping with men for money who are into like bestiality. And I'm like, what sort of
like why you go
they
looking
are
for
out
that?
here
Like,
scheming.
I just want to know why is that
my
number one on your
God.
search list? Like you can't find
Go on
just
Google.
men who like horses. Like I just what? I can't.
Because you would think that those are the sick individuals that
will just like want to give up money
that you could prey on,
I guess so.
Sure,
but some sugar daddies, I think there's like a website for it where you could sometimes they just want to spend time with you, or they just want to like
there's a dating app for
like,
that. I
right,
contemplated being on it. Sometimes you just want things.
Life gets hard.
It does. You're just like,
nothing to us.
Who's gonna buy these Beyonce tickets for me? Like I contemplated. I forget what the actual name of the app is, but one of my friends at the office, when we were talking about this whole thing, she was like, "Oh, oh, my one friend is on like that sugar daddy like website, and he like doesn't want like anything from her. He just like wants like a friend. So she is paid, and I'm like,
Sounds like an easy job.
She gonna say I only do friendships on there.
I'm only looking for friends. But yeah, what do you think about this whole situation with these twins?
You would hope that people would find the necessary means of making money the legal way. Mm-hmm. You know, but life gets hard, and you start resorting to a life of crime. And I don't know how long it's been going on, but obviously the first time they did it, it probably was very successful, and it's thought that they could just continue to do it.
Exactly. Once you started, you ain't no stopping, because you feel like you're invincible at that point.
The scamming.
So
life.
I mean, it's just. Yeah, exactly. That's my response.
And so I thought, were they on Bad Girls Club as well?
I think the one who's in trouble was on Bad Girls Club.
Okay, so obviously, already sort of doing things for the clout. And I know they were in Kanye
Yeezy
West's
Yeezy
season, right? So one of the
they're
posts,
so unattractive. Like, I'm sorry.
One of the posts I saw was that even though these people might be looking like they're doing well in life, or that they're glowing up, they have all these nice things, and you're trying to chase something to impress people, and you're doing it in a horrible fashion. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people will chase clout and chase fame and try and put on these airs of clothing and wealth and things like that, and it's not real. You're just trying to put on a front, and that front can sometimes catch up with you, i.e. in debit card fraud, which is it just seems so unseemly to me. Like, yo, you taking penitentiary chances, like that's your life.
And this man was dead, and she's just like, well, what he doesn't know hurt him. Right. He's gonna be like looking down and being like, what does he do?
Somebody got put used to this limit.
It's unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. And like, how do you think you can get away with something like that?
You gotta see, the thing is, when people make these bad decisions, it's just, I'm like, how do you think that this stuff is never going to catch up to you at some point? Like, it might not be today or tomorrow or the next 2 days, but like,
karma is a bad
bitch. You be out on the beach somewhere, and next thing you know, somebody pull up on you. It's like, hey, we gotta talk to you. Like, it's over.
So, but let's paint this picture.
Okay,
right?
talk it out.
Again, I'm assuming she doesn't have a regular job, or
probably not.
The money's not coming in from her club appearances or whatever that she does, as using her fame.
Sure.
At this point right now, maybe she thinks the only thing she has now is her looks, and she resorted to
even that though. If you're getting certain, like you were put in Yeezy season, you can leverage those things into other valuable opportunities without having to take a shortcut to try and do that. So if you have looks and that's your tool, use that tool before it runs out. Don't just start stealing. And like you were saying about karma, I'm a very real proponent or believer in energy. Energy you put out into the world is going to come back to you tenfold. So you putting out that negative energy, even though you think it might be a harmless crime, it's going to come back to you in some type of form or fashion. So I don't play with stuff like that.
It's absolutely, it's crazy to me.
It's so
and it's funny. I did not know who they were until like February. They were at some event that I was at, and one of my friends who was there with me, she's like, oh my God, it's the Clermont Twins. I'm like, who?
Okay.
I'm like, all right. And now I'm like, wow, I know who they are now.
Jana popping on the low. Okay, check you out. We see you in these functions, rubbing elbows with the rich and famous.
With rich and famous scammers. I get invited to parties with women who steal dead man's money. I can't believe. I think it's funny because like it's not funny.
It's just like the funny part is, how did you think?
How did you think you could get away with this?
Everything starts with your mentality, so I want to know what was going on up there.
Maybe she didn't get word that the guy passed away.
No.
Okay, I tried.
Apparently, he had like some sort of overdose. He was like, it was like, I think the same thing that Prince died from, and like coke. So it was like a toxic combination. Right. And she still was like, oh well.
Too bad, so sad.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
that. In my mind, the way it played out was like she was like with the John, and then he like killed over, and then she just like snatched his debit card.
That's what I was thinking at first. I'm just like, did she take it out of his pocket?
We gotta have a way we can kind of recreate this. Give like
I gotta find out the real story because I know there's got to be more to this. Clermont twin.
But if it's a sugar daddy, I'm assuming that he probably gave her the credit card and was like, "Hey, hon, get whatever you need, whatever you want, do with it.
That makes sense. And then she continued.
And she just continued to use it.
That makes sense.
I can see that being.
I can see that.
Okay, it says her name is Sinead, and her sister's name is Shannon. Oh God.
How you have
The ghetto.
the names, yo, like
Child, the ghetto.
Read them, Jana. Read them for Phil.
So this is from people.com. Sinead is accused of stealing a debit card from a man who died after a prostitution date with her and spending tens of thousands of dollars, according to a release from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. Sinead was charged with fraud, wire fraud, excess device fraud, and aggravated identity theft.
Yikes.
Yeah, 20 years. Sounds about right.
don't they like? Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you go out to certain places and like they do your credit card, don't they ask for ID sometimes?
Oh, I didn't know this part. Oh my God. It says the model allegedly stole and used 2 debit cards belonging to a man who was found dead the day after paying her for her services.
Ooh, yeah, that don't look good.
So you think she's maybe accessory to a crime as well?
I think so.
Well, just
And she only charged him $400 for their encounter. Now,
Only? What's the price?
know yourself, know your worth. I feel like that's like a little too low for someone who was in
400 too
Yeezy
low.
season.
Run that check.
So what's the
She's-
price should be? I don't.
Maybe she just doesn't have a lot of self-esteem. But I think that a little bit higher would have been just right.
But what is she? Well, also,
What is she worth?
What does she? Well, what does she do as well?
She's an Instagram.
I know what I'm saying, but I don't know. What
Now that's like an actual career, as
Yeah.
they say. What I don't even know their Instagrams. Like I literally didn't know who they were until earlier this year. And they dress the same. Like that's weird. They have they don't even have 1 million followers.
That's
do
why
they have the blue check?
No.
So then,
That's why they.
So maybe that's why she had the $400.
Yeah.
She's
you
not
don't got the
special
blue
enough.
check.
We got to the bottom of it.
See,
Scrape at the bottom of the barrel. Oh my goodness, what a shame. Wow. But I don't like how they dress the same. I don't like when twins dress the same.
It's cute when they're like babies.
But not when you're
Yeah,
24
no,
years
yeah,
old
no.
and scamming rich men.
Yeah.
It's really unattractive.
I could do
Well,
it.
I wish her the best. The next story, Cardi B finally popped out that baby.
It's been a minute.
I feel like she's been pregnant for a really long time, and she keeps like talking about how pregnant she was. She's like, I'm not gonna do this because I'm pregnant, and I'm like, I know, Cardi,
it.
we can see
Right,
you're
that's
pregnant. But her baby's name is Culture Kiari Cephas. Now, Kiari is Offset's name.
Okay.
right?
Culture is the Amigos album.
Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, when are we gonna start naming people regular names? Because
I think it's a trend right now.
it's so odd.
When you're rich, I blame Beyonce. I really don't want to.
Well,
but
first of all,
No,
she
Apple was a
didn't-
weird name too, and that
Right,
was
okay.
before.
She didn't
Right,
start
you're
that.
right,
Yeah,
you're
don't
right.
don't.
Let me
Don't
strike that from the record.
So
I apologize.
What's Kanye's?
North is so cute. Though.
Insane.
North, Saint, and Chicago.
But I feel like when you're wealthy, like once you hit a certain tax bracket, your child's name is expected to be a little bit out
Outlandish,
there,
yeah.
right? Because like you can't just have no regular name and be like the child of Kanye West, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like once they like we sort of-
Courtney West.
oh god, yeah, right, yeah. I mean, but like I feel like once these celebrities do like a Blue or a North, like we were saying, like North was like crazy, but now it kind of normalizes it and like it expands the repertoire of what we deem for baby names. So like Blue, I've seen now other people name their children
Really?
Blue, like even, like on Queen Sugar, the kid on there, his name is Blue. You know what I'm saying? So
It's a show.
sorry,
But yeah,
It's
other
a
regular
show.
people can have names like that. We gotta put it on resumes. We need to apply for
Absolutely.
jobs. We
Because
can't-
Absolutely. That's
Culture Kiari Cephas is never gonna have to get a job. Never,
that.
ever, ever. Neither is Blue. Neither is North. There have been some really weird names though in the past. I just like looked up a couple of like celebrity baby names. Tony Braxton's child's name is Denim.
I got a funny baby name story for you.
Oh, go ahead.
So my aunt, she works at a hospital, pretty much like as a midwife, right? So she would, after the baby was born and everything, she asked the mother, hey, what do you want to name the child? Because we got to get the birth certificate, all that ready. So the one lady, everything went smoothly. She said, I want to name my son Shathid.
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 Oh, I know where this is going.
All right, so she was like, how do you spell this? How you want me to, can you spell that for me? Shithhead.
Yikes.
Basically, looks like shithead. And she told her, "Hey, look, I don't think this is the best name."
Oh.
And this woman just got done, hours of labor. She don't want to hear that, so she went off. She kind of went off on my aunt. It was like, "No, how you gonna tell me what to name my child? This is a cultural thing," because I guess they were from somewhere in the Middle Eastern part of the world. But I was like, no,
I saw a
that's
Vine
rough.
like a long time ago. There was like, oh, I'm gonna take attendance, and he's like, shithead, and the kid's like, it's Shatheen.
Oh wow,
That was like
really?
a long time ago.
Well,
though,
it's
when
somebody.
Vine was a thing.
Some kid got that name.
Shatheen.
Some kid got
Well,
that
do
name.
y'all I don't know if you're familiar with like the Key and Peele skit where they're in the classroom.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Aaron.
God.
Yes.
That's funny.
Shaquillin. So
Jay Quellen.
Jay Quillen. Aaron. What else did they say? That was such a good skit.
Yeah.
That was a
D
good one.
nice.
D
Yeah.
nice.
yeah.
Oh, I got Bear Grylls,
What?
like the one who like drinks his pee in the woods.
Oh,
On,
that's-
you know,
that's my
you don't
guy.
know Man vs. Wild.
I love that show.
I've seen
That's a
it,
good show.
but I've never seen that one.
Oh, he like eats like bark and like I feel like he can eat regular things.
Yeah.
But he's like always like doing things that are like just outlandish. Like he's in like a woods in like Minnesota and he's like, "Oh, I gotta kill this rat." And I'm like, "I don't think you do." But his kid's name is Huckleberry. I don't
Huckleberry
like
Finn,
that.
I guess. From
These
the
are
book.
some of these aren't that. Oh, Puma. That's Erykah Badu's child. Rainbow is not a name. I'm sorry.
On Blackish it is. Thank you very much. Rainbow? No?
Oh, who? Where?
On Blackish?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm 0 for 2 on these shows.
I do watch Blackish, but like Rainbow. Her parents were like hippies though.
That's true.
So like that's I don't know. What do you guys think about like when you like have kids one
Yeah.
day? Are you going to have like normal names, I would hope, or like just something maybe a little unique but not
Something
like
that's
out,
gonna have
out of
meaning
the-
behind it.
out of the-
I would
out of the
say
blue.
that unique, but not like, for instance, my name is Kyler. Like, I don't know that many Kylers, but I've run into a couple. But I feel like that's a unique name, but it's still, I could get called for like an interview. You know, if somebody saw it on the resume, it's not so, I guess, foreign or where people can't pronounce. Well, people do mess it up, but
What do they say, Keeler?
or they'll just read it and then say Tyler anyway, which blows my mind. I can't tell you how many times
No
I
T.
email somebody and then they'll type me back Tyler, Tyler,
When the name's
because I
in
guess
in the signature.
I don't know if they thought it was a typo or something like that,
Oh yeah,
which is possible.
people always
but-
say that with my name. They're just like, "So your name is like spelled like that, like JNA?" I'm like, "Yes," and they're like, "Oh, like what is it short for?" I'm like, "Jana." Like that's my name, and they're like, "Wow." Or they're like, "Oh, that's like really interesting," and I'm like, "I know. Code name for weird."
I got a like I have the same issue with the email, same thing. I'm like, my name is just a little different at the end of it. Instead of it being a normal with an O, it's with an A. So the joke I have is like I have a spelling bee trophy at home that has my name spelled wrong on it.
Is this real?
Ironic? Yes.
Oh my god.
Ironic. The irony.
Yeah, that is ironic.
I can't even like picture like your name being anything else, like because I know you as like Brandon with an A, so
Yeah.
I'm like thinking of Brandon Merchant with an O. I'm like, no, that's
just
like
don't-
weird.
It just look so that's a long story. I don't be owning that trophy. I'm like my parents. Y'all can keep that. Just put that.
I'm
in,
not taking that.
Put
anywhere.
that in the basement, whatever. Just leave it in storage.
with the
I'm
rest
cool.
of my hopes and dreams. Dwight, do you have any like weird name stories?
But my middle name is like weird. Not weird, so it's Darius, but my mom got it from Darius, but she took out the I. So everybody still just says Darius, even though there's no I in my middle name. Yet I'm like, I don't know how you pronounce that without seeing that. Like you see Darus. I don't know how you got Darius, but whatever. I'm not a pronunciation person where you gotta look at it. But I think if I would name my kid, I may do the standard, at least the first or middle name is my name maybe. And then me and my wife will figure it out. Future wife, whoever she is.
Any ladies in your lives?
Nothing worth speaking of.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Yikes.
Whoa.
Spicy.
Hope they don't listen. No, just single. Focus on the career.
I feel it.
Career is the focus.
The career is the relationship right now. So would you? I don't know how. I don't know. Naming a child after an album. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that at all.
The Culture album, was it spelled with a K?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just, but I'm trying to, and it's a girl, right? It's a baby girl.
Yeah, it is.
Culture for a baby girl. It sounds masculine.
It sounds ratchet.
No doubt. Yeah, I can't jive with that. And sometimes I'll give them the chance, like North and Saint, like, but Culture, I can't rock. Is there a nickname way to, like, how do you even?
It's probably just going to be
bad.
Colt. Yeah, it does, especially for a little girl.
There's like Colt McCoy,
like Colton.
Yes.
But, and what's the last name on the baby?
Cephas.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Good thing that baby's gonna be paid.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing.
I think Cardi was on Ellen like a while ago, like when she first announced her pregnancy, and she said the Offset picked the whole name. I'm like, yep, I can see that because it's just all Migos.
Yeah.
Migos. I wonder what his other kids are called.
I don't know why, but what? I don't know.
Because he has like 4 or 5 kids.
I just can't see. I can't see why you. I'm trying to think of the meaning behind you trying to name like your daughter or your son after an album that even if I made it,
maybe if a success, the money that album brought, that could be a reason to always remember it in the passing on of your kid.
Or maybe the culture is important to them, the hip hop culture that birthed them, that gave them a different life.
When you look at it that way, that's really nice.
I can see that one, yeah.
I really hope that's what they were
trying. But if you think
we're trying.
I think she did say though, like, it's obviously because like the Culture album, and I'm like,
I think if you ask, if you ask her, obviously it's because of that. But I feel like if you were to ask them, hey, was there anything else, they'd have no answer. I feel like.
Oh no, absolutely. Like, I don't think
like you
Cardi's
didn't see his
very
album?
deep.
Yeah, like you didn't see his album. All right, cool.
Like, oh my gosh, she's named after the album. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's all.
we got the correlation there.
Well, I thought it was good. I really wanted the baby to be named Diamond because I'm like, it's not bad. I have a couple of friends named Diamond, and I really like that. Yeah. And I feel like Diamond would have worked for them because they seem to like really materialistic things. But Culture, just disappointing.
Not rocking.
But much like the Clermont Twins, I wish her the best. So that's all for Talk of the Town, and we're going to move on to questions with the guests. So tell us a little bit about the Yuppie Noir podcast.
Yeah. So the Yuppie Noir podcast, I kind of picked a name, I would say. But basically we try and, talk about things that we know about, which is being young, black, male professionals in a corporate America type of world, and how we navigate that world. So, just with our being that sort of subset. And both of these gentlemen, we all work at the same company, straight out of college. We, got jobs and are just trying to make our way in the world and, talk about the different challenges and trials and tribulations that we go through. Mm-hmm. And then also our sort of vantage point in the way we see certain situations in the corporate world, from our, young black male perspectives.
Good answer.
Yeah, and that's what with the name, like Yuppie, meaning young and
young urban professional.
Yeah. And then noir is
See,
black.
I didn't know that's what Yuppie meant. Wow, you learn something new every day.
I learned it too when he pitched it. So, but then I ran with it. It's not just your prototypical name of a podcast, and then noir is black and French.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think we also talk about a lot of just topics that we also go through just as being young black men in general.
Mm-hmm.
Not even we definitely touch on the corporate side of things because that's relatable to all three of us in our career paths, but just in general in the world and our society, we always try to come up with different topics or different events that have taken place that we can kind of just give our take on, and we also try to give our little ways we could probably maybe prevent the situation sometimes, whatever the case may be. I know we talked about the one it was the lady called the cops on the girl that was selling lemonade, and we were like, yo, we should be uplifting young entrepreneurship, but you know how it is out here, But.
Yeah, and then just the fact that we legitly every day just have conversations, whether it's in our group chat or when we're hanging out about everything. We was like, it'll be great if we recorded it, and really talk about it and see if people want to listen and get a little traction. And then we just like, let's go with it, let's not think twice about it. Let's see where it takes us and here we are. We
are growing. Everything's growing right now though. We got the Twitter page, we got Instagram page. We always try to promote our episodes that come out every week that are available. So look forward to that. And then we also started doing something recently on Twitter where we ask questions, do the polls, so we can gauge our listeners' opinions as well. One thing that we always want to try to do is, not look at it from only our perspectives, because it can be a little skewed sometimes. So we like to gauge everybody, because everybody comes from different backgrounds. They have different viewpoints that are unique to them. So
nice. It's like nice and fleshed out. I really like all of this. So for people who don't know, how did you guys all meet and how did you become friends?
I can start. Well, Brandon, we all met in college. Brandon was my roommate. So
what hall did you guys live in?
We was in University.
Yeah, all the way in the back.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was an interesting time. I was a part of a community service program, so they matched Brandon up with me, so he had to live back there as well. And I met Kyler through the community service program, and that's how, we all just kind of, hey, this is Kyler, this is Brandon, and like that's how I thought I introduced them all from my perspective. Like they knew each other, I think, prior in high school.
Yeah, we played high school basketball against one another. We ran into each other at like AAU events as well in the region. So we both, me and Kyler had like we had a, I don't want to say a friendship, but we knew of each other. We had conversations before.
Yeah, I would, just along the lines of what Dwight was saying, and just sort of that was making that initial connection. In college, as you first come in, you're just trying to cling on to anybody that has similarities or anything like that. So when I saw that these guys were just as driven as I am, Dwight being in community service and Brandon working his own thing out, and just his ambitions, I felt like that was a good core, and I was like, I'm gonna stick with these guys. And same thing with Dave. Don't want to leave Dave out because that's another.
Shout out to Dave.
Shout out to Dave. Yeah, and we just sort of kept that friendship all the way through college, and then even after school, just allowed it to sort of grow, and we stuck together. And we try and feed each other's fuels and ambitions and things like that, and I think it's worked out well so far.
Yeah, I remember I was originally I wasn't gonna. I actually had a roommate that I picked out from down the South Jersey area, and he dipped on me at the last second and went to I think he ended up going to Montclair or something. But I was like, dang, so who's gonna be my roommate now? And then next thing you know, I got messed up with this dude Dwight over here, and
the one and only.
We it was cool from the jump. I still remember we messaged each other on Facebook. I was like, yo, I think we wanted to be roommates, and from there when we got to college, it was just off sailing. And then Kyler, I already knew him, but I didn't know how he was gonna be. It was gonna happen the way it happened like that, but I was like, nah, Kyler's always been a cool dude as far as I've known him, so I ain't got no problems. We all good, And then Dave, of course, was our last person that we kind of matched up with after we started playing basketball, the SRC.
The SRC, oh my gosh.
So
and then to run things around.
I kind of got disappointed after I graduated. I didn't know we was all gonna still be like together, because at the time I was looking at this job.
That's sweet.
I just felt like I knew we were always gonna be cool, but I just didn't think it would be as like we all live in the same complex now. Like who would have thought that was gonna happen, type of thing.
And you're not like roommates or anything. You just all live.
Me and Brandon are.
Yes.
Oh,
it's like now.
Look
it's
at
like
that.
6 years in the making now.
Yeah,
that's really special.
Almost 7.
What does each of you like bring to your friendship, do you think? Like you say like what Kyler and Brandon, and then they'll say like, oh, how nice is this?
Go ahead.
So what I bring, or what do I
what
think
do you think
bring?
they bring?
Kyler was the proper, he was the guy that, wanted to lead by example, and, he always, showed us, how to be a up-class citizen in the world, whether it's from his looks. He always dressed to impress, spoke very proper and well, make sure that this is what we wanted to be carried. We don't want to be carried in a way where it's like slang and is ghetto, maybe amongst each other, but when we're talking to people outside.
Friend vernacular is different.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon, driven. He always had a passion for things. I love seeing it. Once he talks about something and whatever he wants to do, he puts into fruition. So I saw that with him, and it just kind of made me gravitate to him. And in both, what they both bring is honesty, and just, they keep it real. So I'm a real as he can get, and I like it when you could be honest. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong, or correct me with my grammar, or, whatever it is. But, it's,
I think that was an accurate depiction, I would say. I would say what Dwight brings to the relationship is he brings a lot of levity. Anytime he's always, I feel like, the sort of life of the party, very gregarious, very funny.
That's a good word.
Yeah. SAT man right here, I'm telling you.
What did you get in your SATs?
I did well. I did well.
Okay.
I don't want to, I don't like to brag.
I have a friend that did so well in his SATs, and he kept taking it. I'm like, he got like a 2100.
Just
and
let
I'm
it
like,
go.
Yeah, like, yo.
you're fine.
Right.
You're smart.
Go to whatever school you want to.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
But I would say Dwight's really he's the funniest person I've ever met. And he always brings, just the sort of levity and makes everybody comfortable around them. Mm-hmm. And he can always spark up the conversation or a dialogue. And so we kind of look to him for that. As far as Brandan, I think Dwight already said it, but just super passionate about whatever he's going into. I know he's going into music right now. And he's sort of just gone full, dove in head first. And then just like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. Put all of my emotions and my all into it. So just the passion and ambition that he has for things. I think that he brings that to our friend group, our dynamic.
Solid. Appreciate y'all.
Isn't that nice? Like when you say nice things about your friends and they get all excited and you're like, this is why we're friends. Like it's just so nice. Like I remember when my best friend graduated college, we had like a big party for her, and we were like going around and we're like, she's just like always there when you need her, and she just starts tearing up. I'm like, isn't that's just so sweet and cute. So it's like really refreshing to see a show full of successful Black men, and you're always building each other up, which is awesome. So what do you think is the importance of like being able to show your friendship while also highlighting the successes of our community?
You want to take that?
I think it's definitely important I always try to look at like who we're setting examples for. Mm-hmm. I have, me personally, I have a little brother and I have some little cousins, and I always like am trying to say like, yo, is this something that they can try to look up to? So it's important to exhibit those things because you never know who's trying to really gauge where you're at so they can learn what their next step could be. I'm always trying to say like my life goal is like kind of to get to the success point is if I'm not affecting change or if I'm not giving somebody something to really build themselves on, then I haven't really accomplished anything. Like I can make all the money I want for myself and, get to where I want to be in my life. But if it's not helping the next person succeed, especially in our Black community right now, then it's not going to be worth it. Cause that's where I don't know how to really put it in words, but like I get very, very jovial once I see like people like reaching their goals and getting above those challenges that came in their lives. Like that's something that really gets me excited and gets me really amped because like you went through this and this, and yet somehow you ended up here. Mm-hmm. That's the determination and drive like that these gentlemen were talking about that I always try to bring to the table because it's like that's reality to me. You have all these challenges that come your way, but you can still succeed and get to where you want to be regardless of all that.
Good answer.
Doubt. What I would say is I think the importance of male friendship, especially in the Black community, is just offering a different view of what Black male friendship is, or in that we can all win. There's the common saying that, we're crabs in a barrel or had that crabs in a barrel mentality. And I think by us, uplifting each other and saying, hey, there's an opening in my department, send me your resume. I could see if, we can get you in there, just helping your friends around you and lifting everybody up so that we can all win instead of it just being one, person making it to the top and then not reaching a ladder back to help other people behind them. I think that's one of the things that we bring to the table, and hopefully other people are seeing that and maybe duplicating that in their own friend group.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I've been doing community service since like I was little. That was something that my mom instilled with me, not just a resume builder, just something that you feel good doing. Mm-hmm. And from tutoring kids and different places, it's just you go there, you're helping them with their homework, and a kid says, if I don't do it here, I can't do it nowhere else because I go home. My parents don't have like only a high school education, or they're working too much, but they don't have time to help. And a gentleman has said to me is like, I have nobody to look up to. Our black people are athletes, the rappers. That's what is deemed successful, which it is. But it's not everybody can do that. You know, you can create
There's
your own
different levels of like attainable success.
You can create your own level of success by getting that education. You know, education is something that they can't take from you. So I try to lead by the example. You know, and that's what we all try to do is say, look, education is key. You know, we've been there. You know, it's not going to be easy, but at the same time, getting it is going to get you in the door, and it's not going to make life easy, but it's going to overcome some roadblocks that you may face. So.
Especially at Ryder.
Yeah.
I think
With those loans.
I think the most important thing is trying to change people's mentalities, because you can give people opportunities to do things, but if they're not, their heads aren't really in that space where they're trying to really improve themselves and get themselves out of whatever the situation is currently, then it's not going to work, you know. So that's the one thing I think in the black community that we got to start really striving to do, and kind of in combination with the education for sure,
Right.
and stressing the importance is just change your mentality. That's where it all starts.
And I'm pretty sure like, we all probably had a mentor growing up.
Of course.
You know,
of
and
course.
that's that person you can ask those questions to that been in your shoes at one point.
Right.
And maybe even steer you down a different lane that, you know, they might have failed at one point as well. You know, so I think just leading by example. There's many lives that we can try to touch, or just, you know, just by example. You know, I think more of us in the world can shed us in a different light. You know, because I still think it's a very bad stigma or stereotypical way of they view black men. You know, if we're wearing a hoodie and different stuff like that. So not saying we need to change that, but at the same time, if we can do the simple things that can create a positive vibe in the world, let's do that.
Right.
So.
Of course.
What's your definition of success?
It's a good one. For me personally, it's kind of a combination of things for me. It's, you know, when I'm able to, again, affect change, and I see people being able to use what I've, you know, maybe said to them, or maybe what I can provide to them, whether it be monetary value or anything like that, to get them to the next level. Secondly is, you know, success for me is being able to have a peace of mind, to know that I put whatever effort I'd put into it 100%, and I got the results that I wanted. No excuse, you know, around it. And then the last piece of it is did you meet the goals that you set out to really accomplish? And if I didn't, I haven't been successful yet. You know, so it's a combination of things, but it, you know, success is not defined. It doesn't have one definition, in my opinion. I think it's a combination of things, but let these fine gentlemen explain as well.
My definition of success would be legacy. I want to leave something behind after I'm gone. You know, in terms of one, being able to build a family. You know, that's something that's very important to me. You know, land ownership, something you could pass down to your kids, sort of harkens back to what I talked about earlier with, you know, the Beyonce quote of the day, you know, building a strong family unit, and then be able to have that, be able to pass down something to them so that they can continue to grow that. And not even just in my family, but being able to touch someone outside of my family, you know, just through mentorship or things like that. You know, if it's, you know, somebody that I see might be going down the wrong path but has potential, if I'm able to say something to them, or able to sort of be a mentor or a example of something that they can aspire to, that's a legacy in and of itself, because you spark something within that young person that they're now going to be able to sort of put that energy back out into the world. So legacy is probably my most important definition of success.
Nice.
Success. I think just success is just based off of, you know, where you want to be. You know, success doesn't just have to just be the monetary stuff and the house and the car, because they can be successful, but then are they really happy? So it's like it's synonymous with one another. But success is definitely whatever you wanted to do in life, you achieve. You had a dream and you followed it. You know, and you was able to get to that point to say that you are that. You know, whether it's you want to be a doctor and you got there. You know, you're a doctor. You want to be a writer and now you're writing for maybe not the New York Times, but even just writing in general. Like that's success. You know, whatever you set your goal and your heart and your dreams to do, and you was able to achieve it, and you didn't let nothing deter you from that. Yeah, it's success.
That's a good one.
Like that.
The man above will give you some things that you ain't even expect to get in your life journey, and I like what you said right there is like being happy with what you're doing, even if it's not the biggest thing in the world, you know. When I got to the league, you got to play overseas and feed your family, give them something else to look forward to, you know. But
yeah, oh my gosh, I forgot that happened. How was that? Like when you went?
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Wow.
Just
I
studying
completely
abroad.
forgot.
I just studied abroad for about 6 months, I would say. But I played overseas for the club over there, and we got to travel, you know, across France, you know, all over the country and things like that. Competed in a national tournament, which we placed third in. So that was just something that was a dream of mine to be able to play on that type of level, sort of on that collegiate level, and then, you know, play against, you know, or play and, you know, see the world, you know, just by, you know, having that opportunity. So that really opened my eyes to a lot, you know, that there's more outside of, you know, the United States, you know, there's a whole world out there, which definitely I want to, you know, be able to see for myself and have, you know, my kids see. So definitely a goal of mine that I was able to accomplish.
Nice. And then you're doing music.
oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So earlier this year, I think it was about January, I just, you know, was sitting down because I always like to write. I've always liked to write when I was in college. And I just was like listening to different instrumentals one day, and I just said to myself, yo, why not just actually go to a studio and record and see what it sounds like? And, you know, from there, it's just taken off. Like they were saying, I've been trying to make sure I book sessions when I can get the times available. Always, you know, having some time aside where I can just kind of sit down and really listen to music, because I really love music. I like what it brings to the table when it's done right, where it can kind of inspire you or give you, like, put you in a mindset where you feeling like you're like on top of the world, in a sense, where you feel like you can motivate people, whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm doing right now. I got 3 singles out right now on SoundCloud. Named on there is B period or dot merch.
B dot.
And right now I have 3 out. First one's Good Regardless. Second one's called Wishy Washy, and then the last one that I just put out last week is Never Pass on You. So I think they're solid tracks, but coming soon will be an EP. Very soon.
Definitely, I gotta check it out. Like I'm getting the first of listening to it. It's really good. You know, he always, even in college, wrote. You know, like whether it was from like poems or like just different spoken words. I was trying to get him to do like Brown Water.
Oh my gosh, you would have been great
Yeah.
at Brown Water.
Yeah, I was shy.
I can't believe you never went up.
Yeah, I tried to get him to do it, like the On Fire, the different ones.
Yep, the
I did do
poetry
On
slam.
Fire. I did do On Fire competition. Yeah, I remember that.
But I'm just glad to see it now. You know, he's actually like putting it out and, you know, telling people about it, you know, and letting the world see, you know, the different lyrics and stuff that he put.
Yeah,
together.
don't be shy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give, like, cause this musical generation right now, I'm not the biggest fan, so I like to try to bring lyrical content to what I put out. You know, I don't like to, although there probably will be some songs on there that's just kind of like a, you know, fun, you know, turn up type of song, but most of my stuff that I do write, like I got so much stuff in my phone, is more so just trying to speak, you know, like I said, success, ambition, things like that, in a clever way, of course, but you know, that's the main thing, give people that vibe when they listen to my music. So
What's been your favorite thing to talk about on your podcast?
Well, for me, I love, because we have a section where we in the beginning we do what's current, right? What's now, and I love playing like devil's advocate, even like with the Clermont Twins. You know, maybe they have a logical reason.
I just can't.
He's very good at it.
Yeah. So sometimes I may be, well, they know me so much now, so like I can't sway their opinions, but maybe I can sway some of the audience opinions. Like, never thought about it like that. So I definitely love, you know, how that's always fresh. How we can our beginning segment where we just talk about different, you know, current events and what's going on, and try to spread light to it and dissect it. So
Yeah, and I really think he missed his calling as a lawyer, because he could really argue any point. Even if I don't agree and I know that he's just trolling, I'm like, he did makes a good point that I like. It's hard to counteract. Now, a lot of the times he'd be making points that is not provable, but that's beyond the point.
can't prove it. You're right.
But I think that adds an element to our podcast where it's not just 3 people just agreeing on the same topic, right? We're having a discourse. It's going back and forth. So even if you don't agree with something, you could still have the debate, you know, and you know, basically have the conversation about it. So that's probably one of my favorite parts. I really like at the end where we talk about sports. We're all really big sports fans in terms of basketball. I'm a soccer fan with the World Cup going on. These guys enjoy football as well. But we always really get into our most heated discussions, I think, sort of centering around sports.
Yeah, I would agree. And back to Dwight, I think that's just kind of what we were talking about earlier about, I guess, the appreciation of like the relationship or the friendship is Mr. Unpopular Opinion. But
well, this is gonna be so much fun.
Pretty much, that's pretty much sums it up. Like he's not afraid to put something out there that might sound a little outlandish, but again, whether it's going to be something that has a proven fact or not, it's the fact that you're kind of implementing that idea. So it's not like Kyler was saying, just everybody, oh yeah. You know,
I try to put out into the world, your own thought, right? Just because what the media or whatever portrays it one way, it's not the only way. It's two sides of every story. Could be justification for some actions. Never know. But I just try to. Sometimes I don't agree with it, but I just like to speak on the other side of it for a side that maybe someone may not argue or say.
Yeah.
Right.
So like Jesus Nice says, you got to hear both sides.
Oh my God, Jesus.
But yeah, I like the sports section, I would say too. Sports was kind of where we kind of all come out. That's where you really, I would say, see us at our natural, because most of the time when we have these heated discussions or debates, rather, that's where it really stems from. It's like our opinion based on that.
But I will say, like, close second, though, our middle section, we like to have a topic which is referencing to professionalism or some type of, like, we did one on networking, or, like, then sometimes we, like, let's spice it up, like, dating in the workplace, and try to talk about different things where it may be something that you may go through or see, and just hear different takes on it. So
Nice.
we definitely bring a lot of content to our main topic in the middle.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yeah, we have we're trying to get a little bit expanded, I guess, if you will, with our selection. But I think it's been really good the way it's going with the topics we have chosen.
Yeah, and I think it's substantive. Like, it's things that you can really take into your everyday life. For instance, sports talk, we kind of just chat about that, but it's not really anything that you're going to implement into your everyday life. With us talking about networking, that's something that, last week our episode, Brandan had a very great point about that. Or if we're talking about relationships in the workplace, if we're talking about, resume building. So, these are things that you can implement yourself, and you might, sort of pick up a tidbit here or there from what we've gone through. You might be able to use that in your own life.
Funny story, we actually had I put up the for the IG page, we had the questions that everybody's doing, that's very popular right now, and
I'm scared to do it because I don't want
Yeah, I'm cool on that.
But don't worry, you don't gotta post it, right? You can see the questions,
and take care of it
inside.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
we had
one of these days.
One of the responses was, when you guys, he's like, yo, can you guys implement a little bit more tips? So it was like, I was just kind of an eye opener for me when I looked at it. I was like, okay, so people are actually, looking forward to, hearing something, pertaining to, our whole objective really for the podcast, which is giving business tips or ways you can carry yourself in a successful way.
I agree. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good way to end the questions with the yes segment. You guys give good answers. Rider education done right.
Yeah.
So the final topic of the show is unpopular opinions, and I'm so excited because I always love hearing this, because I love to have a good conversation about people's thoughts about life. So who wants to go first?
I think we can go Mr. Unpopular.
Say the best for last.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll start first. My unpopular opinion is that Power on Stars is a weak show.
Weak?
Yeah.
I've actually never watched it. My dad gets on me
my
for
gosh.
it. He's like, you gotta watch it.
So
I'm
what's
like,
the
I don't
purpose
want to.
So my theory behind it is the first season, boom, came out with a bang, fresh out the gates, a different take, right? There was this nightclub owner who on the side was actually running an illegal drug operation, but he was trying to go straight, and certain circumstances led him back to a life of crime. Now, First season, boom, cool.
Dwight's face.
Copy. Second season, he went to jail. You know, things kind of went off the rails a little bit. Writing is subpar. This third season, I'm not even bothering to watch.
Shout out Courtney, yo.
Because
Courtney
it's
Kemp
weak.
is an amazing writer.
Yes.
Good.
The show was in their 5th season.
Kudos. Oh, 5th. Good. They had a
gotta-
good
they gotta
run.
push it.
They had a good run. Sometimes they jump the shark.
The number one show on Stars.
They,
I don't. What is
that's
it?
not hard to do. That's like playing in the EuroLeague.
Wow.
I'm
Wait,
just-
so we. All right, never
It's,
mind. We're not
it's like
gonna
being
go
the
there.
G League MVP.
This is
Kudos.
This is Jana. This is what we deal with.
Do you watch Empire?
Yeah, that show's horrible.
No,
Oh,
that show-
I
that's-
used to. I don't watch
Show
it
used
anymore.
to be really,
Used to
really
be.
great.
Yeah, I did watch.
When did I stop watching? I think when whose wife died?
When they pushed her off the roof.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
Same.
like the end of it. I'm just
Same.
like,
I remember
and then
that, yeah.
like Dre kept going through so many like mental health
Yeah.
issues. He almost
It
tried
was
to
just-
kill himself.
It
I'm
was
like,
just
this is
getting
too much.
repetitive when it comes to that.
And the
yeah.
songs were getting really bad. Not Hakeem. Who is the middle child?
Oh, what's his name?
Jamal.
Jamal, yeah.
And he like made out with like, Alicia Keys, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I'm
They
like,
try,
what
they
is
try to
going
put
on
too
here?
many different topics and current events and try to touch on it. Just
It really got very soap opera-ish, and
It
I was
did.
like, I'm good. But sometimes things just run their course, and you just need to put it out of its misery.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
Like Power.
Like Power. Just take it out back. You know what I'm saying? It had a good life.
Oh my
But
goodness.
anyway, that's my unpopular opinion.
okay.
So Brandon, you up?
I guess mine would be same thing, kind of TV related. Mm-hmm. Game of Thrones.
not gonna do that.
Not with it. Not with it at all. It just
Is it
doesn't.
because of the blood?
It's just
'Cause
not
that's
even.
why I
I'm
don't like
not.
the blood.
I have no problem with blood. It's just like my thing is when I watch TV shows, I like to have a theme that it kind of falls back on, and I feel like when I watch that show, I get too much things going on. Like you talking about people in this part of the world.
How far did you get in the show?
I got maybe a
he
couple
doesn't
episodes.
appreciate
in.
art. That's all.
A couple episodes.
You got to
in.
watch at least the first season. How could you even? Make
I
a
tried
judgment?
to, and I couldn't get it.
That's fair.
And it just wasn't entertaining to me.
That's fair. You're missing out. So
Same way with Power, you're missing out. So it just not
Touche,
entertaining. It's just
Game of Thrones, Power.
it's just
Thrones
well.
I don't watch
nominated
Game of
for
Thrones
that.
because I just don't like the blood. Like I watched one episode with my friends, and they're like, "This is probably the worst episode you could have watched." I think it might have been the Red Wedding.
Oh my, yeah, you should. That's not when to start.
So I was
there.
like, but no, I'm very squeamish. So I'm just like,
Yeah, that was
why
bad.
are we doing this? There
That
was
was
like
bad.
organs on the floor, and oh my god, I was.
Love the details. You have to. It's attention in detail. You got to appreciate the art.
It's
Right.
not for me. It show's just
That's
not
fair.
for me.
That's fair. I respect your opinion on that.
Thank
Jana.
you.
But you don't got a good reason for it.
I have a good reason. Just I watched it and I tried to watch it. It wasn't entertaining to me.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Different strokes for different folks. I get it. I've been telling these guys for the last couple of days. My unpopular opinion is
Here we go.
Drake doesn't make good albums. And I know you. I heard. Yeah.
I
Someone has
feel
to say.
like oh my god.
Cat's out the bag. No, and I want to preface by saying I think he makes great singles,
Yes.
but his albums is it's a
I
little weak.
I tried, to be better.
Okay.
And I tried to listen to Scorpion, and I skipped like 16 tracks.
Oh wow.
Probably will.
Like at
That's a
least.
lot.
And the only ones you're gonna listen to is the hits.
The ones that already came
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So I was like, ooh, nice for what? I'm gonna listen to this.
Right.
God's Plan I skipped because I don't
Okay.
like that regardless. The only songs I liked were the one that Kiki, do that, but only in the middle because the City Girls part were yeah. Oh my god, I was loving that. And then Mob Ties. I don't know why I like that one, but I do. But the rest of it, I'm like, yeah. You know how I feel.
No,
I'm not shy about my feelings.
And I
about
just
Drake.
hate that these numbers are backing that like he's like the best artist to ever.
Success and numbers mean nothing. That's
Yeah.
why I said a couple episodes ago he's the Taylor Swift of the
Taylor
rap
Swift.
game.
Yep, you did.
Because success does not equate to talent.
So his point about the albums not being good, I would say that Drake doesn't have classic albums. I'll concede that. But it's a different era. So him having all of these hits in this era is equating to him. He has contemporaries that he's better than in terms of stats and numbers. So he's beating out his contemporaries. Now, I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan anyway. Kendrick Lamar is number one in the rap game, in my opinion. But the numbers support him being a successful artist in hip hop.
But Kendrick can actually like rap.
I think the thing is, music is very subjective when it comes to how you receive it. Because I mean, obviously, there's some things that people say in their music that it's literally the only way you can take it. But when it comes to that, like the only thing you really can go off of, if you're talking about comparisons, are numbers that are kind of just that solid thing that you can't argue.
But music is so fickle now, and now since hip hop just can't is like the most popular genre I listen to now, he's reaching a lot of demographic that I would say no hip hop. So he's getting those views and those listens. Kudos to him, but I don't think they represent hip hop and can say like, oh my gosh, Drake raps like those. Like he's reaching a demographic of kids probably that liked Vanilla Ice as their favorite rapper.
But how would you know that? But how would you know that for sure that these people don't know what hip hop is, or they don't have their own opinion about what hip hop is by listening to other artists?
Because we can't ask this, but if you ask these guys what was hip hop and rap and who was the originators and who started it, I don't think
they're not gonna know.
They're not. You could say, maybe they know Biggie, but they don't even know who came before Biggie.
So you're saying Drake is a pop act more so than a hip hop?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which I have to concede.
Yeah,
I have to concede.
And I think if it's a category that says best pop artist, he can have it.
He can go into it. Yeah. And I also think Drake is very like accessible because of his light skinnedness as well.
Thank you.
Like
I love listening to your podcast.
Like I really, because I like, we all know like Kendrick can rap, J. Cole can rap, but because I wouldn't say Drake is white passing, but it's clear that he's
palatable for a white audience.
Like he's not threatening. He's
call a spade a spade.
Fun. He's like goofy, and they like that.
See, this is where I try to argue that is because the things that we're describing right now, those things that you said, those are traits about a person, like as far as like how they carry themselves.
Sure.
So how you carry yourself, you could be the blackest person ever, and you could carry yourself in that manner.
But you can't sell that though.
I would say so. Why doesn't J. Cole get into those audiences as well?
J. Cole also doesn't like people.
Exactly.
I don't think.
Well, J. Cole was on a path for success, and then I think he noticed something. But then he noticed something where he's like, you know what? I want to make sure I make my music to change and start speaking on a lot of social issues and grew the hair out, and now he looks like a caveman sometimes. But it's not about his image no more. He's all about his content and making sure that he's going certain places and speaking out on those things. Which why I think now he's at a point where he sees both sides. He knows what it's like to be on the top of the game and successful, hit album, and now he knows, like, you know what, that maybe it's not for him. I don't know. I can't contest to why.
Has Drake ever spoken on social issues?
Not that I'm aware
No.
of. I think in terms of one of the shootings, but I can't.
It's never been something. Yeah.
And
so here's what I'll say. Let me say this as far as like their skin tone. His skin tone playing a part. I think his skin tone is maybe a way for people to kind of go into, like outside of black people, of course, to kind of just, okay, I'm gonna go in because he's light skinned. But there's other things like you're including right now, like how he carries himself, the way he dresses, things like that maybe validate people giving him that opportunity that maybe don't come from the let's just say the black community, perhaps. Can we say that?
He gets the best of both worlds. He gets to say the N-word, and he gets to perform at bar mitzvahs and different events that certain,
I'll say shout out to the way he carries himself then for that, because the way he carries himself cements that, not his power.
Use your advantages.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
I don't know. I don't know.
Now I will say this, because I'm a Drake fan and I'm very critical. I am critical of Drake. When I first listened to this,
see, like, it's good to be. Yeah. I hate when people are like, "Oh, there's nothing that can go wrong with these people." I'm like, I am not a Beyonce apologist at all.
Right.
Like, I know when she does wrong. I point out the things that are wrong.
Right.
But she's still very good.
Yeah.
Special
like, stan culture has gone too far with that, where like your favorite person.
Did you hear about the Nicki Minaj thing?
Which one?
When Nicki went in someone's DMs and was just like, "You're just jealous because I'm pretty and popular." I'm like, first of all, you're 35 years old. Relax. Right. And then her stands like, got like she's like sick 'em, and they just attacked.
Yeah, and she
This
told
girl
her
lost-
stance to like go beat somebody up, right, or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think
But she's doing too much right now.
I think she has a lot of insecurities.
It's the drugs, allegedly.
Drugs.
Did you not see the whole video where like she's like opening like a
Chanel
gift, like
bag.
she's getting like a Chanel bag, and like she looked like she's on some type of
Like freaking out, but I don't know if it was drug induced, but she does look crazy. Like she's squealing like like a schoolgirl or something.
Oh, I
like
saw that video.
Like sis, like
She
grow up. You
needs
like
to
30
grow
something.
up.
Shit,
Like,
come
chill.
on, sis.
You're wrong.
Sis. Oh my
But,
god. My unpopular opinion. I don't think Donald Glover is a good actor. And I say that because he hasn't been challenged. Every role he's done, he's basically just been Donald Glover.
Been himself who he is as a
Yeah,
natural
so he
first.
He
doesn't.
was that in Solo? I haven't seen Solo.
I don't want to see Solo because
Okay.
I don't care about Star Wars.
Yeah, same.
Maybe
But,
that's where he stretches his,
I feel like he's always either like the cool guy or like an apathetic like loser who's just trying to get a buck.
Because he talks about that too, like in his albums,
Like,
like,
he's-
where he talks about where he was like that, I guess, or he has that mantra, or he thinks he gives off.
Like
a little bit, yeah.
I love Donald Glover. Do not get me wrong. Camp, the album, got me through
Yep.
like
I
the
loved
my
Camp.
first
Camp was
year
great.
I
at
loved
Ryder.
Camp. Yeah,
I
Camp
loved
was
Camp
great.
so much, and it's a
Yes.
shame because people like were like
Slept on
really
it.
People
really
don't
hating
listen,
Camp.
yes. I don't know
But I
why.
loved Camp. I'm a big fan of his stand up. I didn't really watch Community like that, but I did like him on it. I love Atlanta so much. And his albums are great. However, I just don't think he's being challenged as an actor. So he gets like all these nominations and stuff,
Yeah,
and I'm
I
just
know.
like, why? Like I don't get it.
I think a certain demographic likes that type of acting. Like
I guess.
but yeah, I can live without his acting.
he doesn't. So you're saying he doesn't have a lot of range? I would
No.
say in Atlanta, I don't really see him doing a good job in terms of the acting. The only thing I would say on Atlanta this past
He
season,
killed
of
it when
Atlanta,
he was on Teddy Perkins. Yo,
Yo.
Teddy Perkins is still on my DVR
incredible.
because I was like,
Me and Dwight were watching that, and we were like, I think that's Donald
the
Glover.
best episode of television this year
No,
so far.
it was
Like,
incredible. But I would say that's more a credit to his writing and directing
Oh,
as
absolutely.
opposed to his acting. So
Yes.
in terms of acting, I would have to agree with you there.
I feel
But
like he
that-
is just
as a
himself
creative,
all the time, but he is like he is a creative who all creatives should look up to. Like he's very multidimensional. He doesn't put a limit to what he can do. He's just like, I want to see what I can do with this, and he does it. And that's really like he's just awesome in that way. But his actual acting skills are just not up to snuff. Like he won, I think, an Emmy last year, and I was like, okay, like I feel like he's popular and the show is great, but he's just not good.
He
He's
doesn't
not
have.
great.
I don't think he has had that movie or show or maybe episode in the show where it's just like a, I don't know how to explain it, but just like a pop, if you will. Like it's like, oh wow, like okay, this is like you said, I guess something that you wouldn't expect him to be in. And
You know what? Now this has nothing to do with anything really, but like Leonardo DiCaprio, like had to really go there to get his Oscar, even though he was doing all this extra stuff, and they're really just giving Donald Glover like praise for like the bare minimum as an actor, and I'm like, Leonardo DiCaprio cut his hand into Django and like grabbed Kerry Washington's face with his bloody hand, like that's an actor.
Yeah.
So I think they might be giving him brownie points because he's so multifaceted. So like for instance, if you see somebody like a Bo Jackson or somebody who was a football player but then he played baseball as well, no?
Right.
So if you see these people do something like they're Leonardo DiCaprio is an actor. So but for him to, really get that award, he had to push himself because this is what you do. But if you're like a musician and you're acting and you're a comedian, if you're known
Then
as a
it's just like,
comedian
oh, you
and
can
then you do
do-
acting, we're like, oh, wow, that was so good. Like, kudos.
multifaceted.
Exactly. Right.
Look
exactly.
at him.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's.
So you're saying they get the credit because of the fact that they were able to switch different.
Yeah, he's a
lanes.
switch
And
up.
that slaps the face of real actors, right? They slaps the face of who does
Yeah,
that
because
one.
who did he beat last year? Let's find out. Because Emmy 2007.
Yeah, if he won something for Atlanta.
I want to. He won for Atlanta.
Oh, that first season of Atlanta was so good.
The second season was great as well. The second season wasn't as good.
Yeah,
That
okay,
was-
okay.
But-
Not
okay.
as good.
Okay.
Towards the end, like the last episode when he, spoiler alert, but when he put the gun in the other dude's duffel bag, I was like, yes.
I gotta
let's go,
rewatch
man.
that last
I like the one where they was
episode.
going back from. They was in the car. He's like, yo, stop the car.
Okay,
We got-
he won Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series for Atlanta. He beat Anthony Anderson as Dre from Blackish.
Sure.
Okay.
Aziz Ansari from Master of None. Is Aziz Ansari gonna be okay?
I don't know.
Oof.
I think about him a lot because I feel like.
I like that show a
Oh,
lot too.
here's another unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Shoot. We got a lot today. Let's get it.
Oh, sorry. I thought he beat someone else, and I was like, "Whoa, he didn't deserve to beat that guy." But Aziz Ansari's situation. I think I don't know how to approach this. It's very tricky because the woman in the whole testimonial
Yeah.
about what happened kept saying that she just kept doing it because he wanted her to. But I'm like, but girl, is it assault if or misconduct if you keep doing it and you not leave?
Right.
Like that, it's tricky.
If
It's
you
really
didn't say
tricky.
anything, if you don't say
But
anything,
Like she's like
Nonverbal
she went into the bathroom and cried,
Yeah.
and then she's like your nonverbal cues were just too much, and I'm like, but girl, you don't have to stand for that.
Right.
You are. How old was she? She was younger too. She was
21,
like 21.
maybe, yeah, 22, aspiring
He wasn't like
photographer.
barricading you from
Right.
the door or anything.
Right, like he was
Right.
just like, and he
there
even
was
said,
ample
he's like, I'm so
opportunity.
sorry if you got that. That was not my intent.
of course not.
And she was just like, your nonverbals were bad, but I still did it. I'm like, girl,
Yeah,
you don't
I-
have to do it.
If you say, but I still did it, that trumps
Like
everything.
that
else you just
bothers
said.
me
I don't
because
deny
like
that she felt uncomfortable, but at any point in that exchange, I think she had the opportunity to leave. So by her calling for, or that sexual assault.
yeah,
think
I
it
wouldn't
was
call
a
it
little
assault. I think it would be just maybe misconduct, maybe a misunderstanding.
bit- Sure. I would
You think she was like starstruck a little bit, and that plays a factor?
I don't know,
know?
but I feel like poor Izzy. This is like usually with the Me Too's, I'm just like, get him, girl,
Right.
get him out of here.
Right.
But for Aziz, I'm like, I don't think that was right.
That's not.
And in this situation, it wasn't like he had a position of power to directly impact her livelihood. In a lot of these situations, if that sort of exchange happened and that's like your direct boss or something like that, then I could see how you felt sort of pressured into that situation because this person can affect my livelihood, my job, my means of supporting myself. So I get that. This was they just went out on a date, But again, I would have to agree with you and sort of it's a very tricky situation.
Like, it
to
was
navigate.
really tricky.
I
I
did
thought
like
that whole thing.
Master of None, but I'll also say Aziz
Oh,
Ansari is another one that plays himself a lot. He just played him.
He does. He's always, like-
shrill, annoying.
It's just very quirky and
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like.
Give him an Emmy.
Oh my
right
god, I
there.
sobbed though that Thanksgiving episode of
Oh.
Master.
Good.
I sobbed
Lena Waithe,
like
yeah.
a baby.
Angela
Oh my
Bassett was in
gosh,
that one.
I was a wreck. I thought that was a beautiful episode. Shout out to Lena Waithe.
Yeah, she's doing big
Very
things now.
talented.
Absolutely.
Very talented. I didn't finish The Shy. I kept forgetting
Yeah,
it was
same.
on.
Started, yeah.
I kept forgetting it was on, so I was like,
if
yeah,
I
we're
can't
done.
binge it now, I kind of forget about it. If it's like on a week to week thing, like
I want to ask you a question. It was like back to acting. I've been saying this. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is not a good actor.
No, but he's fine as hell, and that's what matters.
See, lines crossed.
He should not be in 4 to 5 movies right now. That's in theaters in this year and last year.
But that's another one who gets by based
Yeah.
on that charisma.
yeah.
He gets
Charming
by.
dude.
He's very charming.
And
He's
I'm-
a
my-
great smile. Oh, I just love him so much.
Just give him a role.
Beautiful
It's not
tan
about acting
skin.
now.
my thing is, well, how good do you need to act in those just jam-packed action movies for the summer?
All you have to do
you have
is
to
just like
show
hold a
up.
gun and just like
Show
look
up,
handsome.
flex your muscles, say a catchphrase.
He's got the
boom.
job.
That's where his.
Right.
That's where his. I guess his not talent, but just like what he can use to really get his
And by all means,
I don't know. Like, what do you say? Like, because he don't. It's not acting. It's just that's what you just see. Like everybody, girls use their looks, use their bodies, and their face sometimes. But
like Jalen Rose says, in life you don't get what you deserve, only what you have the leverage to negotiate. Right now, he's hot right now, so he's going to be in every movie. You got to strike while the iron's hot. In 5-10 years, it might cool off for him, but he got to get his paper now. Skyscraper, Jumanji. I got to hit all of these. I got to be in 5
Jumanji was
movies.
really good. I was surprised.
Jumanji, I underestimated.
I really did. I thought it was gonna be like, oh my god, I got like really like verklempt in it because they like carved. I think it was Robin Williams' character's name.
Yes.
Like I was like, oh, that's really.
That's shout out
cool.
to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sad.
But yeah, Donald Glover is not a good.
Well, I want to see him.
I
I want to see him. I'm looking forward to seeing him in this. Look, they're coming out with a real Lion King. Now, I want to see how he gonna voice because he's supposed to be Simba.
And he's supposed to sing.
So
Okay. Beyonce's in that too. I wouldn't have picked her.
Beyonce's
for that.
gonna be Nala. That's what I was like.
I wouldn't have picked that for her because, okay, as I said, not a Beyonce apologist. I don't like when Beyonce speaks.
Is her voice annoying?
Yeah,
for
like,
you,
what
or
is it?
She
it?
just doesn't sound
what's
smart.
masculine or
Her voice is funny, like, cause it sounds like very airy and like above
I think
it
it's
all.
because like when she first came out, she was like Houston, like so country, and she would like she was really country, and like I guess when they realized the potential of her star power, they're just like, we got to get you some classes because you can't sound country. So like sometimes you can hear it, but for the most part, I feel like she's trying so hard to suppress it. So if she's just like herself, I'm sure she sounds fine, but she sounds very like media trained, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like I remember when she presented Colin Kaepernick with that award, and I was just like, yeah, I don't like when she speaks. I would have chosen for Nala. I probably would have chosen Anika Noni Rose because she has a really pretty voice.
I'm not familiar.
She's in what is that show on? I don't watch it.
It's on BET.
It's on
right?
BET.
Oh, you
The
talking
Quad.
about the Quad? Yeah, that's the girl that was the girl with the fro that was like scheming on Diamond.
oh yes,
Yes.
She was in Dreamgirls too.
Okay.
the trumpet.
Yes.
Okay.
The one who's not Jennifer Hudson or Beyonce.
The
But she has
other
a
one.
really beautiful voice, and she played Princess Tiana in The Princess of the
Was she
Frog.
Cop on Power?
No, not that one.
No, that's
She was on Dreamgirls too, right?
No.
Okay, never mind.
But no, she has a beautiful voice. I probably would have chosen her. But the rest of the casting is spot on for The Lion King, and I really can't wait to see it. They said that they had like the teaser trailer at like whatever expo, and they were like making sure no one leaked it.
Now,
So
let me-
we will not see it probably until like maybe Christmas.
Now, did you see the Jungle Book?
The Jungle Book was
So you like
fire.
this? Okay. So,
I
'cause
love the
That's what I was
Jungle
gonna
Book.
ask you. Do you think this would be like another one that's gonna hit like that? I mean, Lion King's always gonna be classic, but like, do you think? It's
I
gonna
think
hit the
that
same
this is
way?
gonna be really good.
Okay.
I really think it's gonna be good. I really think the casting is like what's gonna do it for me. And Jon Favreau's a great director. I really like the Jungle Book.
Yeah. Jungle Book was Idris Elba.
Yes.
Was good.
Who else was in that? Except Scarlett Johansson played the snake, and I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
But Bill Murray played Baloo, and that was perfect.
Yep.
Like Seth Rogen's playing Pumbaa. Like, come
Oh,
on.
yeah. Oh, yes,
come
he is.
on. That's
He is.
perfect. And they still have James Earl Jones playing Mufasa.
Yep.
They gotta get those lines in though, because he's old.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
He's
my-
getting up there.
He's like in his 80s at least.
Yeah.
Who else? Beyonce's Nala.
Who's who do you know? Do we know what Timon is?
Billy Eichner
Lee Eichner. Who's that?
from Billy on the Street. If you ever heard of it.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah.
loud,
Yeah.
very loud and gay,
Okay.
and I love it.
That-
He's like Nathan Lane, just like today. So I'm like, this is really good. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. But I think that's the end of our show.
That's
So
it?
I'll do my sign off and we'll get out of here. Oh my god, thank you guys for coming
I
on
appreciate
a
the invite.
Saturday.
Yes.
This is like awesome.
We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys.
Had a great time.
So that's all for And Friends with Jana Jefferson. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JNA Jefferson, and follow the show on Instagram at And Friends Podcast. And don't I can't read. And don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes, the podcast app, and Google Play, where you can stay up to date on new episodes when they become available. And if you'd like to be a guest host on our show, hit me up at andfriendsguest@gmail.com, and we'll keep in touch. Extreme thanks to my friends from the Yuppie Noir podcast for being
Yes.
so awesome. What do you guys have to promote on your end?
So we're gonna put out our Twitter page and our IG page. IG first. Our IG page is gonna be Yuppie YUPPIE _Noir NOIR, and 2 underscores after that. And then you can go on follow us on Twitter. It's just Yuppie, same spelling, YUPPIE_Noir.
Nice.
Yeah, if you want to follow me directly, Dwight _time. So
Dwight time
is the right time.
You can follow
That's
him.
nice.
Yep. That was how I got my name and my slogan.
He's had that catchphrase for a while. You can follow me, Kyler, at Kyler, KYLER _Austin, AUSTIN.
Yep. And B_merch, B_merch_ on IG. And again, go follow my SoundCloud page. It's just B.merch. And you'll see my singles that I recently spoke on, and give it a listen. Let me know what y'all think.
Nice. So the show like officially ends. We have to give obviously a constructive feedback to Donald Trump. We used to do an FU, but we're trying to be better.
Okay.
So this is like a subtle FU. So instead of tweeting, what do you think Donald Trump should do?
Well, where do we start?
Bring the children that were separated from their parents back to their
Say that.
families.
Say that. Oh my God.
The immigrant children.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yeah. He should be less focused on tweeting and more focused on trying to improve the way we can correct our social issues that are going on right now. He doesn't pay too much. He doesn't pay attention to those, and they need to be addressed on how we can correct the issues.
Nice.
Or at least give effort on it.
Yeah, likewise. I think he's doing a decent job from the business aspect of things. But
Yeah, he's just a businessman.
Yeah,
You
and-
can't run this country
No.
like a business, though.
No.
You really can't. I think instead of tweeting what he's in Britain right now, maybe like have a spot of tea and like hopefully calm down. Calm down just a bit. I think they're like I think they're protesting him there as well.
yeah, I think they have like a big.
So
like,
shout out to the family in London for really doing it up
Yeah.
and trying to get. I mean, he needs to go. I can't believe we're still here. I cannot believe we're still here.
I got a page on email that always sends to go out. He's like, hey, we got new leads on how we're trying to impeach Donald Trump. We need you to sign off.
Oh, I get that too.
Yeah.
I always get them in my promotions tab.
Yep.
And I always click them. I'm like, what is it? What's the
Yes.
tea? I need to know.
Yes.
Apparently, he's supposed to be the popular for the next candidacy again for another 4 years.
Well, I will be leaving if I can't do this anymore.
Where we going, Jada? Where we going?
Canada. They got Justin Trudeau and free healthcare.
Like the free.
Yes. So that is all for this week. Yeah, that is it. Bye, everybody.
Deuces.